Hey guys, welcome to the next chapter, researching companies. Well, the next bit is going to require you to put on your research hats. Basically, what we want to do is compile a list of companies that you'll eventually send out the application to. So first, we'll try and go through the broad spectrum of all the companies and try and understand how these companies are categorized in ranks so that we can understand them better, and then go ahead and shortlist them. You can use one of the following websites to understand the market better: Tech in Asia, Traction, Crunchbase, Inc42, Your Story. All of them basically are a great repository of all the startups that are currently in the market, and most of them will give you filters such as location, industry, stage, size, and funding status. But you might have to buy the premium version to get access to the data that they have. But it's definitely worth the investment, because you need to understand this. Unlike big companies, startups don't really have that much money to be able to advertise their positions. Like all the job openings that they have, they don't go out there and advertise them really well. So there is this asymmetric information that you can take advantage of. So before other people can find them in the market, what you can do is find them and write to them directly. And to be able to do that, we need to understand all the startups that operate in that industry. So just using one of these websites should be enough. But I'll tell you a few ways that you can get this information for free as well. Number one, listicle on news websites. You can search year-wise and sector-wise. A simple Google search on top edtech startups in 2020 or top agri-tech startups in 2020 will give you an interesting bunch of startups. And then you can sort of go back, top agri-tech startups in 2019, 2018, and so on and so forth. So you'll get like a nice listicle of, like if you're interested in agri-tech, it'll give you an exhaustive list of startups in that sector. Number two is listicle on recently funded startups. This is to create a list of startups that are currently hiring. Funding would mean that they will expand their team and would be hiring actively. So this would be the perfect opportunity to reach out to them. Number three is great places to work. They come out with a list every year. These are companies that have standardized organizational practices. These are great places to work, not the best places to work, so keep that in mind, but they would do well in the list itself. So you can add them. Number four, job portals. You can use LinkedIn. So while you're applying to companies, keep on noting down the companies that are basically like hiring right now, and you can basically add them to your list as well. But honestly, I would not recommend using the free methods because it's not worth the effort and time. Using these free methods is very laborious and it's not very effective. So you can invest in your future and buy one of the premium subscriptions and it'll give you a database on hand. Right. So now that you're using the software and you've shortlisted, you've gone through the industries, you've gone through the company stages, the size, the funding, all of that. I want to give you a couple more points to keep in mind while you're looking at startups. When you're looking at startups, try and understand what their product is and how confident you are in their solution. Because having a high degree of conviction in their solution will enable you to align yourself to work for it and invest your time and energy. Basically, what you want to find out is, do you believe that their solution is the right one, or will a competitor outwit them in a year from now? So form an opinion about the startup that you basically are looking at. Write it down in the Google Sheet that you've created from before. Let's talk about another filter, which is Stage, which is one of my favorite filters as well. The idea is quite simple. When choosing your next company, first determine which stage is the best match for you. It could be pre-product fit, post-product fit, or growth stage or scale. Usually only one or two stages make sense for any given job search. So there's this very interesting article by Nikhil. I will be attaching the link in the description, called The Stage of the Company and Not the Name of the Company. The idea that he discusses here is quite simple. He says, if you like unstructured and constantly changing environments, pick a seed stage company or a growth stage company. And in case you like peaceful environments and structure, pick a post-market fit or a scaled up company. Now, there are no good and bads here. Each stage has its own pros and cons, but it becomes highly rewarding in the long run to pick something according to your temperament. The good thing about understanding the stages of a company is that you will also understand the pace of the company, what kind of people to expect, and who will thrive in it. Just a side note here, if you're applying for a specific role in an industry which you have little to no knowledge in, you can figure out what kind of profiles get selected for those roles by reverse engineering those profiles on LinkedIn. Let's say you want to become a management consultant at a consultancy, you can check out profiles of people who are management consultants and check out their career paths to observe what is the commonality between all of them, to get a better understanding of what you could do to basically like thrive in that position in that industry. So for the sake of this example, if you really wanted to be a management consultant, I would assume you would have to get an MBA from a tier 1 MBA college, because that would be the most common thread between all of the management consultants. So just to recap, use all the listicles available on the media websites. Use the database companies so that you don't have to do the hard work of finding these companies. Check out the industries that you are interested in. Pick out what stage are you interested in, depending on your temperament. And then while looking at the company, check out their solution as well to understand if you're convinced by what they're trying to do. Do they have a product market fit? Do they have a solid product and a solution? Because it could be the best team, but if they're working on the wrong solution, it's not going to take them too far. And you don't want to jump on that boat. So be very sure of the solution that you're going to be enabling when you join the job. And with that, I think we cover this chapter. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.